Hello everyone, I'm War. Welcome back to devlog number 6, I think. You have to excuse me on this one as the World Cup is going on, so there's a lot of background noise. Hopefully not too much. But yeah, let's get started. This week was very productive, I would say. I finished most of the game's documentation. So the GAD is done. Most of the designs, the level designs, the enemy designs, the player design animations are all laid out before me. So I am able to better work on them. And with that, I finally got back to working on the game itself, which is fun. And I actually did a lot of different things, which throughout the documentation process I compiled a list of just things I would like to add to the game or fix or change. So when I got back, I did all that, and most of those things are: I fixed a bug where when you went back one step in the planning process, the shadows would like freak out and start moving randomly. Not randomly, but they would not do it correctly. I made some code optimization, practicing some new methods of coding to make the code run smoother. I made it so that this one is a little weird to see, but hopefully I'll put up a video or something. But I made it so your velocity follows through when you are jumping, which basically means that if you jump while pressing a direction, so if you jump while going right and you let go of your thumbstick, I fumbled, or the D key on your keyboard, before the jump itself would just stop. You would just stop midair and fall. Now it will follow through and the velocity will not reset, which leads to more fluid jumping. It doesn't feel as jittery as it did before. What else? I implemented a fast fall mechanic, so if you are airborne, you can just press down if to fall faster. Just quality of life changes. I added a bit of rotation when you throw items, so it just looks better. And it doesn't really mess with the shadows because I thought it would, but as the rotation is not random, the rotation is set, any items thrown will be thrown the same way by the shadows. The rotations will be the same, so any bounces will be exactly the same. So that's great. I implemented one-way platforms, so you can jump through them and fall through them by pressing down and jump. I fixed the aim assist, and I added it to the gun, which is a bit weird to explain. But what I fixed was, before, when you would throw items without aiming, right? You will throw items without aiming, which I call tap throws, because you tap to throw like that. The game would help you. It would help you to hit your target, as it doesn't really have a way to tell exactly where you're aiming. So if you are aiming close to a target, the game would just aim at the target for you, to make it a bit easier to just do quick succession kills. But because of the way I implemented it, if you were aiming to the right at a enemy and there was another enemy, a second enemy behind you, really close to you, when you would throw your item to the right, the game would fix your aim to the left, because it would think you were aiming for the enemy behind you. So I fixed that, so now the aim assist will only affect to the side that you throw. And I added it to the gun, so you are able to shoot a bit better, as you don't really have a aim mode when using the gun as you do when throwing items. So I added to the gun as well and made it a bit stronger. I added a interaction input which currently does nothing because there's nothing to interact with, but it is there. And those were most of the main changes. I upgraded the project to the universal render pipeline, which is something that I really didn't want to do because I had a bad run with URP in the past. But I really want to get into shaders and making the game feel a bit prettier, and URP is the best way to do that for me currently, as I don't really know how to code shaders. So I upgraded it and it all went well. There's nothing wrong. There will be nothing different to see because most of the things that changed are background stuff. But I then started working on the enemies. I know I said that I would start drawing and making art, but I felt like the enemies are a big part of the game and I should code them, at least a base version of them, early before I do the art. So I started working on them. They run around and they have three different patterns, so they can just stand still, or they can patrol an area, go left to right, and they will chase the player. If you go out of their range, they will stop chasing you, and they will spend a bit of time just looking around before going back to what they did before. And it was fun. I like coding AI. If you've been a subscriber for a couple of years, you would see that I have a few videos on coding AI. The AI for this game will not be as advanced as my older AI from those videos, because that AI was very intelligent. It would be able to run around barriers and jump platforms and find its own path. This one mostly goes left if you are left, or right if you are right. Very simple, because it doesn't need to be complicated. It will do the job just fine. And mostly that's it for this week. Next week, I'm hoping I will be able to start working on the art after I finished working on the enemies themselves. And I'll probably create False's art first, and I'll do a simultaneously creative process where I draw and I animate, and then I implement it to the game side by side, so I don't really stay still just animating or just coding. I do both at the same time, which is better for my mental health and my interest, I guess, in working the game, which I can feel wavering when I just do one thing too much. When you just completely stop coding the game and do documentation for a week straight, for example. But we're still going strong, and next week, maybe, hopefully, I'll have some art to show you. But that's mostly it. Thank you for watching. Please follow me on Twitter or Mastodon. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up with devlogs leave a like if possible. It really helps spread the word. You can also join the Discord to have a bit of a one-on-one chat. If you have any questions that you don't feel like leaving in the comments, you can leave in the Discord and I'll answer them. And I think that's it. Thank you for watching again. I'll see you next week. Until then.